Well, if you weren't panicking yesterday, you're probably panicking now. Sorry folks, I couldn't resist. Hi everyone and welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and in this particular video we're going to take a look at the newly announced, the internet breaking power couple that is Anakin and Padme, otherwise known as Panakin, according to, well, pretty much just me. So these are the 20th anniversary Attack of the Clones figures. If you'll recall, back in around May 4th of this year, Hot Toys just dropped phase 1 of what they're calling the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary. It's mad that 20 years since Attack of the Clones been released. So the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary phase 1 figures, and in that what they had was R2-D2, C-3PO, finally, albeit not the one that I suppose original trilogy collectors like myself would want, but two fantastic looking pieces, a clone trooper, a clone pilot, and a battle droid, the Geonosis battle droid. So that was the first phase. Then a few days ago they teased an image, a shady image of these, kind of like what they did originally back in May for C-3PO and R2-D2. Basically you knew who they were, but it didn't have much detail on it of Anakin and Padme. And on the bottom it said, you know, coming soon, phase 2 or something like that, Mace Windu, Anakin, Padme and the Super Battle Droid. So here they are. This is Anakin and Padme, Hot Toys 1/6 scale figures from the movie Attack of the Clones as part of this Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary series. I think they look good. I definitely think they look good. We're going to kind of take a deep dive into, we're going to take a look at the two of them. And then later on I'm going to do separate videos. I might even do a stream, but I'm going to do this video, which I've labeled Panakin for obvious reasons. We're going to take a look at both of them. Then later on I'll do an individual pre-order preview of both Anakin and Padme. If you haven't done so already, folks, and you like the content, make sure you like and subscribe. Right, let's take a look at Anakin first. So I'm just going to flick through some of these photos. My initial thoughts are it looks good. My initial thoughts are that the first thing I look at on a full body photo like this is actually just the proportions. I don't necessarily zoom in on the sculpt unless it's like a head and shoulder shot, but the first thing that kind of naturally, I don't even consciously do it, is just proportions. I'm just kind of like that. So like if I was to buy a jacket or even look at you know, buying a car, or you know, looking at a design of, like, I don't know, a new Iron Man, something, the silhouette is important to me, and the proportions between like the height and the shoulders and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing I noticed, I think the proportions are good on this. I really like the actual colors on the kind of the brown color of the pants and the kind of, I suppose, tunic. I like I think it's leather, that kind of black piece that goes over. So yeah, I'm guessing that's not leather, so that could be an issue if depending on your climate. I don't think I tend to have the problem here. I have a few pieces with belts that are pleather and stuff like that. I don't think I have any figures that are entirely pleather, but because of Ireland's climate, it's a cool temperate kind of a climate, so we never get extremely cold, although yesterday was like the coldest day here since 2010. It hit -9 degrees Celsius, which isn't cold, say, for parts like Canada and stuff like that, but my point is it's a cool temperate environment. The temperature tends to fluctuate, never really gets too hot, too cold, so therefore, and the humidity tends to be not an issue, so pleather might last a little bit longer here. If you're from Ireland and you've had a figure which has seriously degraded due to pleather, please let me know in the comment section down below. So initial thoughts, proportions are good. I like the color of the brown robes. I like this black piece here, albeit it might be pleather and might be an issue. I even like the way the belt sits around here with the little packages in the back and stuff like that. Boots look good. I'm guessing this is a USB powered lightsaber, which eventually, and the head sculpt, yeah, the head sculpt looks good. Sculpted hair, fine, that's grand. That's what they do. Bit kind of spiky looking if I'm nitpicking, but it is nitpicking. These sculpts are good. Okay, so this gives us a better look at the sculpt, and everyone is kind of like going nuts for this baby hair. It's like a new term now. I first noticed these kind of, you know, these kind of, so someone combs the hair and there's always a few bits that maybe like kind of fall out of place, a few little rebel hairs. I first noticed them doing that. It probably wasn't the first time they've done it. Pardon, but the first time I noticed was on the Mark III 2.0 that is due to release next year. You had like kind of the Tony Stark head sculpt, the Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt, and it had a few kind of nicks and cuts and stuff like that. And his hair was out of place because, you know, he just had the helmet kind of ripped off him from the Ironmonger, and there's a few stray hairs, and I really hope that that's not something we just see in the prototype, and they actually do carry it through to the final product, because those little details, the devil is in the detail. And when Hot Toys puts the effort in those tiny little details, maybe it's threads on the bottom of a shoe, maybe it's something to do with like a belt or a pouch a character comes with, it can be like little scars or like a kind of a shading, or like little imperfections like on the person's face. For example, Christian Bale obviously has this kind of like it's kind of a skin tag or something here, and it, you know, that's part of him, and they included in the DX19. So those little things make a big difference because it gives more realism, and I think that's why I like battle damage and I like weathering and stuff a lot more. Like, it's not, if you even buy a regular Iron Man, like I was looking at the Mark 6 yesterday, I thought I scratched it, but there's loads of little tiny little nicks and scratches on the clean versions of the Iron Man, because that's the way the metal would work, like, you know what I mean? It's just gets a small ding, it's going to have a scratch, so it's not necessarily battle damage, just slight natural weathering even on the clean ones, and that, it makes a massive difference. Because if they just did a regular perfect red and gold Iron Man, there's something to be a bit missed, a bit too clean, a bit too toyish. So those little things on the forehead here, these out of place rebel hairs or baby hairs as they've been coined, they add a little bit of detail to it. I think the head sculpt, the hair, overall I think the head sculpt is good. Like if you were to simplify it, really, right? If you were to simplify it into 5 sections, I'm going to start doing this in my video. We could have like a bad head sculpt, like, you know, like a not on par, no workouts, a bad head sculpt like a Tony Stank, and then you could have like a subpar, and then you could have a par which is just okay, it's just enough, and then you could have above par, and then you could have like a super sculpt. I think this would be above par. It's definitely above the threshold. It's definitely a good head sculpt. I still at the moment don't think it's like 100%. I don't like it. I think it's like, you know, I'm gonna do it. I compare it to that Boba Fett behind me, compare it to the Yondu, compare it to, like, I don't know, the Krennics of the world or stuff like that. I think those head sculpt, the Tarkins, are just a bit better. But that being said, this guy's fresh faced, he's younger, and they're getting better at doing younger, fresher looking people, the sculpts of those younger, fresher looking, basically handsome, pretty people, because with the older gentlemen with all the wrinkles, there's more kind of like features on the face for them to kind of add and work on, that kind of, I suppose, describes the character's face better, if I'm explaining that correctly. So this guy's really fresh, doesn't have any scars or wrinkles and stuff, because, you know, he's a fresh face, he's a young guy. And I think maybe it's a bit easier to get those older sculpts better, but they're getting better at the fresher, younger people. So it comes with the rolling eyeballs function, so that adds like loads of different massive, infinite different options for posing. I definitely think it's a very strong sculpt. Where would I put this? I don't think it's a 10. You know, I don't think it's a 10. I'm thinking maybe a strong 8, maybe an 8.5. But I want to kind of look at the different photos first. I like the way they're going with the kind of vintage style box here. So just take a look at everything he comes with here. I want to kind of zoom in here. So obviously you get the figure itself, you get the brown underrobe, you've got the belt with the pouch and stuff on it, you've got this kind of, like, is this a tunic? I'm not sure what the name of these 2 black pieces are called. If you do know the name, let me know in the comment section down below. Now I would imagine that these are pleather. So do what you've got to do to protect them. You've got obviously the boots. I'd heard someone say they're the same as the Anakin boots from the Clone Wars. I'm not sure on that. I love the way they've included the mechanical arm. A lot of people were speculating that they were going to do that, and I am delighted they're doing it. Because, like, look, if you've been following my channel, you know I'm not a prequels collector. I'm not the biggest fan of the prequels ever. I've watched them, yeah, fine, but I don't think they're particularly good films, and I don't collect prequels. Commander Cody is the only prequels character I have in my collection, and I make an exception for him because he's a trooper. It's really early here. So I am glad that they have included that gold kind of mechanical arm. You've got a bunch of different lightsabers. From what I can see here, it appears that you have his own lightsaber and Obi-Wan's lightsaber. You can see a little wire there, so I presume like you have the option to pose them with just the hilts on their own, or you could basically not lighting up or lighting up. So you've got, it seems to be like there's the 2 wires here for the hilts, so they are actually USB powered. So I think what you can do, I'd imagine, is, because there's the normal blade option for the green, and I can't see if there's another. I don't think there's another. It seems to be like there's the regular green, regular blue. So you could have the hilts, or you can have them lit up, because you can see the wire there coming out. And then there's the swooshing effect. Oh, no, I can see it here now. It's under here. The swooshing effect for both of them. Yeah, so you have the option to have the hilts, or you can have them USB powered, and you have the swooshing effect. And then the Jedi, kind of the cloak as well. This is going to make a lot of people happy. Like, I mean, you know when you see a sculpt straight away if it's questionable. This is not questionable. This is a solid figure. Proportions, robes. I think that they're giving up accessories. They've given the 2 lightsabers. They're both USB powered. And let's face it, they have to give USB powered now. There's going to be uproar if they release a Jedi or a Sith with a lightsaber and doesn't be USB powered, because it's a step backwards. Yeah, so zoom out here again. Yeah, look, the head sculpt looks good. I love the Jedi braid as well. And even I like the little details here. If you look at this on this belt here, the little, just the grey and the red and the kind of the mustard kind of yellowish colour. And I don't even know what these are. I don't even know what these are. Like Jedi pencils. I don't know. And the pouch, but just these little details. The gaiters kind of on the front of the. It's very like a Winter Soldier-esque. Yeah, I think just a lot of people are going to be really excited about this. These die-hard, that looks cool. In fairness, like look at, this is very like almost C-3PO without the, remember in episode 1 when he didn't have any panels, and you can see here the metal arms, but you can see the wiring. I didn't even notice that. Like, this is the thing, like you see this for like split second in the movie. You don't really get a chance to kind of, you don't really, I don't know, I don't tend to pause it and just like obsess over the things like that. But here in a still, it really makes you appreciate the design of the mechanical arm. So you've got like just the kind of gold, look at all these like joints here. That is deadly. And even the color of the gold looks very well, and all these little wires. That, come on. I think they've done good. I think they've gone good. That looks super. Definitely a strong head sculpt. Definitely a strong head sculpt. It might sound like I'm being a bit harsh, like, you know, commenting on the kind of spikiness of the hair. I know his hair kind of did come up, but it wasn't like necessarily spiky, but that's just the texture of the that'll probably soften. Obviously this is a prototype, and prototypes do tend to soften the main product. I imagine that would tend to soften, which would actually benefit and take that kind of spikiness against sharpness away from it. I don't hope the head sculpt doesn't soften though. That looks great. I'm wondering now, oh, this is part of the base. I was looking at these two things and going, what are these? But that's part of the base. They didn't give him a sand base. They did not give him a sand base. That's cool. So that's his decapitating pose. Yeah, in fairness now, I think I'm really happy. This is one of those cases. It's not for me, but I'm really, really happy for those that are getting it. It's a total cliche, I know, but this looks great. You know, the head sculpt is good. It comes with sufficient accessories. You got your 2 USB lightsabers. I love the layering. And look, this is one of the things I admire about Hot Toys. There's a lot of layering going on here, but yet it doesn't look bulky. And I look at the proportions on that. In fairness, yeah, I think these are home runs. The head sculpt here looks great. I think it's. I mean, it's just not enough to for me to give it a 10. It's not enough for me to give it a 10. Like, what I'm noticing a lot lately, and I really, let me know in the comment section down below if you've noticed this as well. The sculpts are getting so good in terms of realism. Like, you could show it to someone quickly and they would not know it's a figure. But not necessarily exactly like the actor or actress it's supposed to be. Yes, we know this is Hayden Christensen because we're fans. But if you like got rid of the little Jedi tail and just put it on a lollipop stick and just held the sculpt, would they be able to go, that's Hayden Christensen? I think they would for the most part, but some people might need a hint. Maybe that's because he's not that famous an actor in the mainstream. Like, I know he's big among the Star Wars circles, but he's not like a, you know, like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or whatever like that. If you're a Star Wars fan, you'll know who he is. But it is a strong head sculpt, but I don't think this is a 10, to be honest. I don't even think it's a 9. I think it's a solid maybe 8, 8.5. It's hard. I've struggled to give this a 9 now, but I'm going to let it sit me. I want to see more angles, but it is very strong. I just don't think it's like, you know, a carbon copy. It's something slightly off. I'm going to give it a solid 8. Depending on the angles, maybe an 8.5. It's good though. It's good. They'll probably do a 2.0 with Dooku and the USB lightsaber and annoy a lot of people. I'm so glad I'm not collecting prequels because there's absolute, literally phase and waves. Yeah, so look, we're going to take a quick look at Padme. Okay, so look, I mentioned earlier on in the video that Hot Toys do really well with kind of older men, you know, people with kind of scars and greying hair and beards and stuff like that. And this is the polar opposite. This is a young, beautiful woman. And I think that's where they struggle because she's got no wrinkles, no blemishes, no scars, you know, just no greying hair or anything like that. But I want to just flick through because I saw a photo earlier on. I do think this is a good head sculpt as well. I do think this is like, so again, like if there's subpar, par and above the par, like meeting the threshold, this is above the par. Is it like a carbon copy? Probably not. But the hair is done so well here, it looks rooted. It actually looks like real hair from certain angles. I think this angle is good. Now I want to flick through. On fairness, she does look beautiful here. They have kind of captured, like Natalie Portman is stunning, like, and they've done a great job. But look at the eyes and the eyebrows, even the lips and everything. They've done a really good job. Kind of like the Anakin though, I don't think it's like all the way there. I think this might actually be a stronger sculpt of the two, to be honest. There's one photo I saw. I actually really like this strange. I don't know about this. I don't remember this in the Attack of the Clones. I think I remember the shawl, but I don't remember the hat type thing. Maybe it was in one scene I forgot. Again, let me know in the comment section down below. But this kind of reminds me of Ahsoka a bit, like maybe because I know that the Ahsoka, she comes with, you know, I think the Clone Wars one, I think actually the Mandalorian one as well, you have the option to put the hood up, and because she's kind of got the bits on her head, it kind of looks a bit pointy. But this is still pretty cool, you know. This is phenomenal. This, like, if you showed this to someone, they would say Natalie Portman. This is phenomenal. So this is the best, I think, out of all the photos that I've seen of Padme. This is the one, the real selling point, because I'm pretty sure there was like some promotional shots like from Attack of the Clones, and they were shot with that kind of this kind of greyish kind of cream background, eggshell, I don't know what it's called. And I do remember photos of all the characters like this. That looks fantastic. Like, that is borderline carbon copy. Really, 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 really strong, that particular head sculpt. It's definitely, so I'm giving this one probably about a 9. So I just want to, but it's interesting, it doesn't look the same here as it does here. So is that just like better lighting, better photography, better angle, I'd imagine, maybe all of the combination of all the parts. So I'm just going to go through, I want to go and check actually, what does she come with first of all. And then I'm going to go through all of these photos. Okay, so here we go. Now she doesn't come with much. So apparently she's $210 in Hong Kong, and then when you take the sideshow tax and all that, you're probably talking about maybe $265 or something like that. Can't imagine she'd be much more expensive than that. So what does she come with? So the bonus unused headpiece from Star Wars Attack of the Clones. So that basically answers the question. It wasn't in Attack of the Clones. I don't think so anyway. Rolling eyeballs function. A very, very strong head sculpt. Like, it looks great here and not as good here. But again, that could be photography, a bit of photoshopping going on. Rolling eyeballs function, same as Anakin. This blaster is probably I think this is like the coolest blaster I've seen. One of the coolest blasters I've seen in the Star Wars universe. I really, really like this. I prefer this to the E11. I think it's just a cooler looking, chunkier looking gun. You got this kind of a more classy, kind of a silver, kind of handheld gun. Shows the boots. I think this base is very similar, if not the same as Anakin's, with these two things in the front. A few swap out hands. The star of the show here though is the outfit and the head sculpt. So the tailoring looks good, the proportions look good. Like, it's Padme all over. Yeah, I still like this scarf kind of shawl, kind of hooded thing that she has going on. The head sculpt is very good. Although even there, like, even in both of these photos, it doesn't look as good as that particular photo that I was talking about earlier on. Yeah, so again, everything she comes with the base. Like, the white tailoring looks good. It's very fitted around the waist and hips and everything like that. The boots look good, the belt, the pack and everything like that. Yeah, like it's this is going to make a lot of people happy. I can imagine, like, but that's the start of the show there. That looks like a movie poster. That is phenomenal. But it's just interesting the way she doesn't look as good in other photos. But again, yeah, different lighting, different lenses, different everything. That gun is class. Yeah, so look, it's in conclusion, am I going to pick these up? Am I going to FOMO in? No, I don't collect prequels. I make exceptions for the odd trooper. I only have that Commander Cody from the prequels because I'm a trooper collector. I will be getting that clone pilot because it's amazing looking. But yeah, look, these look great. But I think if I was to get a prequels figure, it'd be the Darth Maul on the Bloodfin, his speeder bike. But then if you do that, you're going to have to get a Qui-Gon, you're going to get an Obi-Wan. They haven't done an Obi-Wan from episode 1, so it's like, I'm just not going to go down that rabbit hole because I got to stay in my lane because I don't have unlimited space. The Space Wars are going on at the moment, and I don't have an unlimited budget. This is a great day for Star Wars collectors. It's a great day for Hot Toys 1/6 collectors, completionists, prequels collectors. I'm really, really happy that they dropped these finally, and that they're eventually going to drop Mason, the Super Battle Droid. I think a lot of people are going to be absolutely buzzing. And look, it's a day to sit back, watch the streams, get the popcorn, have a beer, and just like feed off everyone's positive energy. So, there are my thoughts on that. I will be doing a short pre-order preview on each of these. And when the prices go up, I know a bit more. But yeah, that's it. Just so, like, if you want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know if you're picking these up or not. You can also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.